Have you heard of quiet hiring, which is the latest trend in the workplace going on right now in 2023? That's right. So just after quiet quitting was a trend last year in terms of employees doing the bare minimums of their tasks and their responsibilities, employers are now trying to practice what is called quiet hiring in their workplace to minimize cost and maximize efficiency. So what exactly is quiet hiring? Quiet hiring is essentially when a company or organization changes up somebody's role and making them do other things outside of the job description instead of hiring a new employee for that fit. And in some instances, companies actually hire short-term contractors while being very careful to not infringe any of the labor laws. So what are some of the reasons that companies quietly hire? Well, obviously the first one is the no-brainer, is to save cost of hiring a new employee. The process of attracting a new employee, hiring, training them could actually be pretty expensive for a company, especially when it's somebody who's brand new to the field. So therefore, companies find talent within their already hired pool of people. Those employees also already understand the organizational culture of the company, therefore saving all the other time as well for new people to learn about the company's systems, layouts, and so on. It also helps promote talent mobility and innovation as well. Having employees who are familiar with the company already, they're able to understand more problems and provide customized solutions. One good side that quiet hiring brings to company and employees is that it actually expands the employees' knowledge and skill sets, doing things that they haven't been doing before and getting exposed to new responsibilities. Now this comes in especially handy if you're trying to get your feet wet in the water, doing different things, along with moving up in different positions, such as trying to be a middle or senior position in your company. And one best beneficial part about it is that it boosts your resume, making you look like a stronger candidate to your company within, and if you're trying to get hired by other companies. However, you should also examine your knowledge. Do you really think that this new position that you're taking on could expand your skill sets greatly? Now the question is, what if you don't like this, right? What if you feel like you're being cheated and you only want to do the job that you're given and you notice your company is trying to do quiet hiring on you or your fellow coworkers? Well, first things first is that you want to investigate on the temporary tasks that are given to you. Do you know if this is going to be a short-term task, or are they planning to make this into a more long-term permanent task that you're eventually going to be taking on top of your other responsibilities? Different things like your coworkers calling in sick and you covering for them for a day or two, that is much more understandable than if somebody immediately quits a job and you have to cover that position all of a sudden, right? Because that is now beyond your job responsibilities and tasks when you first initially sign the job contract. So again, it's very important for you to go to your employer and seek clarification on the new job description that you're given. With this information, now you can make smart decisions to avoid you falling for the trap, thinking that you're going to be getting a promotion or a higher salary raise, when in reality, they're just saying that for you to take on that new task because they're too lazy to hire someone, or it's just much cheaper to employ you and stack on responsibilities for you to cover someone else's tasks. Now, one way to mitigate this is obviously to understand that you have the power to go up to management. You guys can sit down, have a chat, and really do review that, hey, this is really not what I signed up for. This was my original job description and my job tasking, and I don't really like how you're employing me and putting me in different positions that I didn't even sign up for. But again, you need to be very careful when having this conversation, because some organizations feel like they reserve the right to place their employees wherever they want to, regardless of their inputs, opinions, and skill sets. Again, you want to understand the risk of being overworked and burning out, because that's not going to be a fun time for you to handle in your current workplace, and you're just going to end up hating what you're doing. So one of the reasons why employers actually get a lot of backlash in terms of quiet hiring is because of their exploitation. So keep in mind that there are a couple obligations that they should do and should follow for their current employees if they're trying to assign you around. First is obviously to communicate with you and outlining with you the new tasks and responsibilities and getting your input on what you think of doing them. Second is to ensure that you have the right to decline the offer if you really don't want to and don't want to take that position whatsoever. Three is that they should make sure to provide adequate support if you are planning to jump in. So if you're going to jump in, they're not just going to throw you in there in the water, let you out there to drown, but instead they should have a team that's training you. They should cover your skill sets. They should be very mindful of your hours and be very understanding that you're taking on new responsibilities, new tasks, and your productivity level might go down a little bit, but they should understand that because you're, again, taking more responsibilities, getting trained, and getting more hands-on experience in that field that you're not familiar with. And last but not least, 4 is to harmonize their professional goals along with yours in that position to make sure that you guys are having long-term success within yourself and within the company. So make sure you have all these 4 obligations in mind whenever an employer is trying to essentially move you around and assign you different tasking. Now, a real life company example is going to be Google. Google has been quietly hiring over the past few years, and they've prioritized using internal employees instead of hiring and outsourcing different talents because they're again more familiar with the Google culture, environment, and organization. And what they do as well is they do internal references for one employee to another. So you can say, hey, my coworker is doing a great job here. He should be a new product manager instead of software engineer. And that's what's been going on at Google apparently. So starting 2023, a lot of companies are embracing this trend. Again, it's very important to avoid exploitation, that you keep in mind on what a respectful employer should look like in terms of treating you as an employee. Don't forget that you have the right to decline the offer because they are outside of your contract. But if you do have room for improvement and room for growth with this new position, and that's exactly what your long-term career goal is, then you should consider it as a good thing and taking that position, making sure that your goals and your company's goals are aligned together for a long-term success. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and gained some useful information. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys all in the next video.